thoughts on the film you got to watch again?
Yeah, I mean, I lived it, so watching the film didn't really change anything. Felt like TCU was desperate and urgent for a win, and we knew they would be. We need to do a better job, I think, dictating and disrupting and turning people over. Didn't do that. I think offensively, we can't let the ball get stuck. It's got to continue to stay on the move. And then we've got to win the rebounding battle. When we win the rebounding battle, we win the turnover game, we win the game. That's been as clear as day. So we didn't do those things, and so we didn't deserve to win. All that being said, we put ourselves in a heck of a position with 2.5 minutes to go to win, and didn't take care of the ball and didn't get stopped. So I think it's pretty simple. We know what we need to do, and we need to just come out and do the things that make us play well and give us a chance to win.
When you guys don't play at your best, does it seem that it's the same way? I mean, you mentioned
Yeah, I would say if you look at our 3 losses, definitely on our heels defensively, don't turn the opponent over, not successful in the rebounding battle, and usually the team that's more physical ends up going to the foul line more. And so all of those things happen in those games, and I think we've got to understand that for us there's a very specific way we got to do things: dictate, disrupt defensively, share it, move it offensively, dominate the rebounding battle. We do those things, it'll go our way.
When they're identifiable like that, does that make it more frustrating, or is the fact that you know what the problems are and can try to address them?
Yeah, I wouldn't say frustrating. I'd say more of just like we have to have competitive endurance, every game. And again, we're playing against really good teams, right? We're in the best league in the country. Teams are really good. You put a number next to your name, you get everyone's best shot. And we know we're playing against teams. I mean, that TCU team's playing for their NCAA tournament life. They're very well coached, a Hall of Fame coach. They're a tough and aggressive team. So we need to anticipate that going in, and we need to be even better. So ultimately, I think, you're going to earn that competitive endurance by what you do in practice. We had a really good practice today, and it's going to be important we continue to do that as we lead into the game on Saturday.
You mentioned practice. How do you reinstill that embracing of the hard when you have a game where it lags?
I just think it's the more you compete, the more you fight, the more you have that mindset and mentality, play with the physicality, force, then that'll show up for you in the game. And I think the game slows down when you're, the more physically aggressive ahead of the play. You tend to not have to think and analyze as much. It kind of goes your way. So we need to do our part in practice, and I think our guys understand that. They've been a group that, again, you don't want to continue to learn the same lesson, but I will say that, our practice today, again, Joshua's leadership was phenomenal. Taman was, bound and determined. I think those guys set the tone for everything that we do, and I'm fortunate they're our leaders, and they were out there today. They brought it, and our guys understood how important it was. So now we got to do that again tomorrow and bring it again on Saturday.
You talked about mentality. What does Cade Kellerman do for this team in practice and on the bench, bringing energy?
Yeah, Cade has tremendous passion, enthusiasm to be a Cyclone. He's a tremendous teammate. He's someone that we know we can count on and trust, and he's going to still have opportunities that come his way yet this year. I don't know when or how, but they will. And Cade's always ready every day. He's a tremendous leader. He's an elite competitor. He cares about a job well done. He cares about team success. So everything he does looks the same because of the character and of the mindset and the competitive spirit that he brings every day.
I think when you guys were down in Kansas, you spoke about how good Florida Dunga's defense was in that game. I'm curious if you could just comment how special of a defender he is around the rim.
Yeah, no, he's terrific. His ability his versatility to defend on the perimeter is much improved. His ability to read and make plays at the rim is tremendous. He doesn't get caught over-rotating much. He seems to have a great feel when he should switch off onto a guy trying to get downhill, make a play, and he's got great timing and instinct. So, again, like all guys who are great at the rim, you need to be able to go through them, back them up, put them on their heels. Ball movement needs to put them in tough spots where we can get angles and create space. And then we need to use physicality to be able to, seal him out of plays and keep him away. But we've got tremendous respect for. I mean, again, they're a very good defensive team, and he is somebody that you could look at and say, arguably, is as good of a defensive player as there is across the country, and especially for the last month or two, he's been particularly elite.
You guys have been one of the best teams scoring at the rim in the country this season. How much of an emphasis is that for you guys? And I guess how important is it to continue that when you are going against an elite rim protector like Padunga?
Yeah, no, I mean they're going to come out and try to do everything they can to not allow us to score at the rim, and we're going to try to do everything in our power to score at the rim. And so, best way is get them in transition, get them in advantage situations, bring force with everything that we do in finishing. Maybe that puts them on their heels, maybe that puts them in foul trouble, but they're an elite defensive team. He's an elite defensive player. We know what they're going to try to do, and they know what we're going to try to do. We just need to have a tougher mindset, toughness with the basketball, and demand that we finish traffic plays and plays through contact.
What stands out to you about Kansas since the last time you faced them?
Well, their confidence certainly has grown immensely. I mean, they were, at that point in time, they were still kind of trying to lock in on their identity, and you could tell that they were practicing with a great spirit because you could see it in the game, and they were locked in and focused, and they've been able to carry that forward to not lose a game in that stretch. So their confidence is really high. They've obviously shown, even when Peterson isn't out there, how well they can play and how great of a team that they are. And Council drives everything that they do. I mean, he's got such a great motor, and his care factor and how he plays is terrific. And I mean, you're going against a program that over time has dominated this conference, and a coach that's a Hall of Famer. And so all those things are true. But like they're playing at a very high level, and we expect them to come in here and be at their best.
When they beat Arizona, whatever it was, Monday, Coach Self said this place, Fog Allen Fieldhouse, won the game for him. And what kind of environment do you hope Hilton will give you on Saturday at noon?
Yeah, I'm confident Hilton will give us an amazing environment. We've had, that same fortune at home where our fans show up for us. They have tremendous energy, enthusiasm. There's certainly stretches in every game where, that crowd energy, the passion for our team, our fan base, like that really helps, push you forward. It really helps build momentum. It helps you get momentum going when things aren't going your way. So we're excited for Hilton to be a raucous environment, for our fans to show up in a major way, and our guys are going to reflect that same energy of our fan base, with their intentionality and the spirit that they play with.
What are you guys seeing when JJ's turnovers numbers spike like they did on Tuesday?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. I think number one, I think it's him understanding, how teams are scouting and playing him, and if the ball sticks in his hands on the top of the floor, where the defense is going to bring help and load up from and come. And so I think for him, he's extremely intelligent. He sees the game a step ahead. It's going to come down to keeping the ball on the move. I also think for some of our other guys, it's their desire to hunt the basketball and to make plays as well, because there are times for us that J. Jeff is trying to do a lot because he's capable of a lot, and maybe he senses that some others aren't as desiring to be involved. So I think it goes both ways. I think we need everybody involved. I think all five guys need to, whether it's moving the basketball, cutting, driving the basketball, screening, all the things you need. We need five guys involved, and I think that will take some of the attention away from him and put him in better positions where he can get behind the defense and some short rolls and finding some ways to attack where everybody isn't loaded up, focused on him.
How much is that dynamic that you just talked about where the ball might stick and so much more is on his shoulders and guys might not be hunting the same way you'd like, tie into being one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, but then being a team that sometimes feels like we have to take this shot at this time versus we get to take this shot at this time?
Yeah, I think when the ball has really moved for us, it hasn't even mattered as much about the volume. It's more of like, if the ball's really moving and guys are sharing it and we're spreading it around, it's not sticking, we get great threes and we get them from the paint for the most part. Milan's certainly been phenomenal in that area in transition, sets, broken plays, offensive rebounds. And we'll continue to have, we've got guys like Nate Heisey, who we know is a 40% three-point shooter. The numbers are going to come around his way. Taman Lipsey's been right at 40% as a sophomore when he was healthy. We know his numbers are going to come around. Jamarian Bateman has been a guy that's been a terrific shot maker, and Joshua has put in so much time. He's shooting it great. So we've got a lot of guys out there that can shoot the ball with confidence, and when the ball moves and the right shots present itself, they're going to make them. So I think now it comes down to us continuing to move the ball, those guys being mentally ready when the opportunity presents itself, and then we'll continue to shoot it well. We know that our guys put a lot of work into doing that. We've got confidence, and all the guys that we mentioned have already proven it. So whether they've proven it this year and years past, they've proven they can do it. So we're not asking anything of anyone that they haven't already demonstrated.
How much of that competitive endurance is remembering when you're down the stretch to keep moving and not, I guess, go into prevent mode?
Yeah, I think, certainly, you get to a point in the game, and if you're referring to like the TCU game at the end with 2.5 minutes to go, I think, we have to have a toughness with the basketball and keep it on the move. Certainly you don't want to end up with a shot clock violation. You don't want to have unforced turnovers. And I think, sometimes easier said than done later in games, mentally and physically, but we've got to be resilient. We've got to stay the course. We've got to continue to screen, cut. The ball's got to continue to move, and we've got to have great possessions later in games that put us in position to get the shots that we make and the plays that we finish at the rim. So our guys know it, and I think everything to me starts with a mindset and a mentality of this is what we will do, and then your body will follow your mind.